What's up everyone, my name is Lauren and I am here to give you a quick tutorial on how to install Node.js onto your Arduino so that you can get started on your projects using JavaScript. We're going to be installing a couple different things. One being Node.js, which is the runtime environment that's going to execute our JavaScript code, Arduino software, which we're going to grab straight from their website, and Visual Studio Code, which was what we're going to use to actually type our code out. Back when I first wanted to get started using the Arduino, I thought that a lot of the tutorials online were pretty tough to follow along. So I'm going to try to keep this as simple as possible. Something that people who are new to coding can easily grasp and easily start. We're going to keep things very simple. All we're going to do is hook everything up and make a light bulb turn on and off every couple seconds. So let's start by hooking up our Arduino. So the first thing we're going to need is the Arduino Uno. You can use other Arduinos, but this is the one I'll be using today. You need a USB cable type AB, 3 jumper cables male to male, different colors, metal film resistor, and a breadboard. And of course, we're going to need our light bulb that we're going to make flash on and off. To start, we're going to hook up the 3 jumper cables onto our Arduino Uno. I marked them here in the video, so it shouldn't be hard to connect. So with the USB cable plugged into our Arduino, let's hook up our cables. The color doesn't matter, but just make sure you're plugging it into the right place. Next, we'll be hooking up the breadboard. There's a couple of places that we're going to be hooking things up to, so take a look and pause the video if you need to. Again, the color doesn't matter, but just make sure that it corresponds to how you plugged it into the Arduino. With the metal resistor, don't be afraid to bend it. Just make sure you get it into the slots that I've indicated on this video. Same thing with the light bulb, really push it in there and make sure it's in. And then attach the wires just as they were indicated here. Go ahead and plug the other end of that USB cable into your computer and we should be all set. Now let's start installing some software onto our computer. Open up the command line, this could be terminal in your MacBook, and follow along. First thing we're going to do is install xcode. Take the text you see below and enter it into the command line. Hit install. You can go ahead and agree to the license agreement, and this should begin the installation. This will take about 5 minutes, so feel free to walk away and come back. So it looks like our installation is finishing up, so when it's done, go ahead and hit done and enter this next command, which is pretty long. Just copy and paste it and hit enter. This will start installing Homebrew onto our computer, which we're going to use to install Node. This one should generally also take about 5 minutes. So again, just walk away and come back or do something while it's downloading. Looks like our installation is about finishing up. So the next thing we're going to install is Node.js. Type this command in there and hit enter. I won't lie, this one will take a while. I think on my MacBook it took about 50 minutes, so feel free to just plug in your charger and leave your MacBook to do its thing. It may look like it's not moving, but it really is installing, so just have faith. So it's finally finished up, and you now have Node.js installed onto your computer. The next thing we'll download is the Arduino software. So you can do that by Googling Arduino and going straight to the website. You can hit Arduino software to navigate into their software page and scroll down where it says download Arduino IDE. Go ahead and hit it for MacBook OS X or whichever OS you have. You can go ahead and just hit just download and you should see the download appear. Once that is complete, go ahead and open that up. It's going to open the zip file and you should see it in your downloads. Go ahead and double click that, open it. Hit open. And there it is, you have the Arduino software. And while we're here, let's go ahead and upload a sketch. Start off by going into Tools and making sure that you have Arduino Uno selected. If it isn't, select it now. Also go into Port and make sure that the correct port is selected. you may have to unplug and replug the port to find out which one is the correct one. Now go over to Sketch and in Include Library, find Fermata and select that. And go ahead and hit Verify. And once that's done, your sketch is uploaded. Next thing we're going to do is download a text editor so that you can actually type your code out. I like to use Visual Studio Code, so let's use that. Go ahead and type that into your Google search bar and hit Download Visual Studio Code. Choose it for Mac or Windows, whichever one you're using. And you should see the download begin. When that's done, open it up. And there it is in your downloads folder. Now, do me a favor and take that from the downloads folder, drag it over to applications. There you have it, Visual Studio Code. So don't be intimidated by this next part. We're going to use the command line to create some folders. First, I'm checking to see all the folders that are on the desktop. I hit LS and then enter. The next thing I'm doing is making a directory using mkdir and then giving it a name. Let's go with my program. Next, we'll go into that folder by using cd and then the folder name. Then while we're in that folder, we're going to use npm init in order to initialize a new Node module. It's going to ask you for a couple things, and it's going to default the package name to the title of the folder. Go ahead and hit enter to group everything. When it says this is okay, hit enter one more time. I'm going to go ahead and clear the terminal out using Command K. Now I'm going to create an index.js file using the command touch, and then the name of the file, index.js. Now we have the two files that we need in order to start coding. So before we start coding, we're going to install a library called Johnny5. This is going to allow us to use JavaScript inside Node.js. Open up a terminal in Visual Studio Code using Control and tilde on your keyboard. In the command line, type in npm install Johnny-5. Once that's completed, let's start coding. We're going to start off by initializing a variable called 5, and we're going to require Johnny5. This is going to give us access to the library that we just installed. Next thing we're going to do is create a constant variable called board, and we're going to call new 5.board. We're going to initialize a couple more variables using let. It's going to be let toggle state. We're going to make that equal false. And we're just going to initialize LED with nothing yet. We're going to give that a value later. So now we're going to use board.on, and that takes two arguments. The first argument, we're going to give it a string called ready, and the second argument is going to be a callback function. So let's type in function, into parentheses, and a bracket, and in that we are going to do a console log. Board is ready, and that's going to tell us when our board is on. And we're going to set LED to new5.LED13. Remember, 13 is the port that we plugged the wire in. Now type in set interval and put in toggle ID, comma 200. So toggle ID is going to be a callback function that we will define in a bit, and 200 is how often we want it to flash. The 200 is in milliseconds, so this is going to flash every 200 milliseconds. If it was 2000, then it would flash every 2 seconds. Now let's create that toggle LED function. Underneath it, create a function called toggle LED. First variable we have is toggle state, and we're going to make that equal opposite toggle state. So we're going to use an exclamation point to change toggle state to whatever it was before. So in this case, if it was false, it would turn into true. Then next time it hits that interval again, it's going to set itself from true to false. Then we're going to create an if statement at the bottom. Here we're going to say if toggle state is true, then turn the LED on. So we'll do LED.on. Else, if toggle state is false, turn the LED off. LED.off. let's close those brackets, and in the bottom we'll do a console log just to know that this is working. Okay, and that should be the program. So now what we'll do is go to the terminal on the bottom and run a command that's going to run our code. Type in node index.js. You should see it connecting, and eventually it will say that the board is ready. Go ahead and take a look at the light bulb in the breadboard. Flash a couple times very quickly, and then at the interval that we set, which is 200 milliseconds. And there you have it. There's your first program using the Arduino. I hope you guys really enjoyed this, and I hope it was very easy to understand and easy to follow along. So really looking forward to your future projects.